Hey y'all, what's this, Friday Eve, Thursday evening? Some folks call it Friday Eve, right? What do you think about it, JoJo? You just want to bite my finger, don't you? Oh, Sissy ain't doing nothing but coming over here, and them goats just didn't know what to think. Well, that garden is sure coming on a little quicker than I can keep up with it this week. Rain is scarce, and those pretty plants are sure starving for it. But it's coming right on. I had to break down and kind of wanted to just let the water from the sky handle it, but I'd be a fool to waste all that crop. So we got a little man-made sprinkler solution going on out there. Look at them big old turkeys. I'm having to clip some wings now because they are literally getting their wings and taking flight. And they hadn't found their way into the garden yet, so I'm still ahead of that. But they're sure getting big. Now everything's going good here. We had a little turkey accident, I'm afraid. Got a board propped up against this door, and one of these goats is a murderer without realizing what they did. But they got excited and jumped up and found one of these little turkeys crushed. Hang on, guys. Stop. Guess I shouldn't have tried this on the video. Sorry about the shakiness, y'all. Well, we got quite a haul. I went to the other end of the garden, and I guess Sissy thought the coons needed to eat a little bit. But it's all right when you're growing enough corn, you can spare to feed the wildlife. But had some coons get in about 6 of those stalks down there. But that's all right. We got quite a haul this afternoon, about 40 foot worth of corn. Still got 140 to go, but it's not ready yet, and that's how I like it. So, old basket's full there. So we got a little preparation. I got some of y'all know what this is. This will cause nightmares in country kids of a certain age. I think I got smart planting them in stages this year by happenstance, so we'll pick a little along. Jordan's been shelling pinto beans all day. Found out the hard way, a pea sheller just doesn't work on them pintos quite right. They're not long enough. And you got to touch all of them anyway. Might as well just shell them out. So we're putting up pinto beans. Still got another bucket I think he didn't finish. And that sunset will make a nice backdrop there on the porch as I knock that out this evening. And, it's all good. That old sprinkler, it's met its match out there on this big old place. But we're giving it just a little bit of a drink to keep it going. That corn's wilting pretty quick. That's all right too. Everything's just normal here. World's went crazy, I'm afraid. Just breaks my heart to look around at all of it. I have to rig around. I think that's a lot of us. Just sad at misunderstandings, I guess, and how important history is, good and bad. It's like a scar sometimes. You get operated on, you get you a big old scar and it marks something. Whether it be positive or negative, it's something you learn from. And you start erasing that stuff and you don't have nothing to point back to, whether it be good or bad. And kind of hard to talk about mistakes if things disappear that kind of marked a change, but that's either here or there. Just afraid we're like the 6 old blind man trying to figure out an elephant. From what I can tell, that's pretty much what the problem is. Big as an elephant, and hard to just come up with an easy solution. It's not cut and dry sometimes, I guess, when it deals with the human heart. But them old blind men sitting around trying to figure out what an elephant really was, since none of them had ever seen one and really never been around one. So they figured they'd head out and try to solve the mystery with no sight. It didn't take them long to find one at the market where they was at. And old boy was riding it, and they asked him, "Sir, can we try to figure out what this thing looks like?" He said, "Well, yeah, go ahead." Person walked up and touched the side of the elephant, came back to the group and said, "The elephant is a wall. That's what it is. So they shook their head, and the second one went up there and actually got a hold of that old ivory tusk, that sharp point. He said, "No, you're wrong. No, the elephant's like a spear." So they was all puzzled, and 4 remaining guys were really getting curious now. So the next one went up and happened to catch his ear, big old flappy thing. And he come back, he said, "No, all y'all wrong. The elephant's like a fan." They're just getting weirder and weirder at this point. So once that number 4 went up, touched his old trunk, jumped back, and said, "No, it's like a snake. The elephant's like a snake." That didn't work either. 5th one went up, found the leg of that old elephant, dry skin, big, reached around it, and come back and said, "Well, I think I've solved it, y'all. An elephant's like a tree." Well, the last and final blind man went up to try to give his take at it, and he happened up on the backside and grabbed the tail. And he had his own description about it. None of them matched. Rest of the day and on into the years ahead, they argued over what an elephant was based on their own perception, what they really couldn't see, but their own experience with that big old critter. Those of us with sight can see it for what it is. I'll just leave that there. No need to make the point. You can draw your own conclusion. Just, I guess we all a little blinded. Maybe we have our own perception of the elephant, don't we? I got tickled. I've worried over this garden right now, and it's a good thing about this old sandy loam soil. It's rich. You get into a big old downpour or rainy season, it's going to drain pretty quick. The disadvantage is the same thing. It's going to drain pretty quick. So it dries out and gets dusty pretty fast. And them plants are reaching down. They're all fruit-bearing plants, and they're looking for that water. Hopefully their roots go down deep enough. It's a little tip about peppers. Those of y'all that start them from seed, as they get about 5-6 inches tall, it's good to let them run a little dry, because peppers, if you'll run them a little dry, not wilted, but they'll establish a lot better root structure for when you put them in the garden. And I've got another round coming of jalapeno plants and things, and hopefully it won't be too bad. I'm gonna manage them a little closer to the front there where I can keep them moist. But I walked by this old lantana as I was fretting about this moisture. I know y'all from the country know what it is. It's got a pretty strong odor to it. But I mow this patch down every fall, every spring. I'm talking about to the ground. You can't even see a trunk left. It just gets all ugly and rough. But it comes back every year with vigor and beauty. And I've looked it up because I'm always curious about these plants. I've been growing up around them. They're pretty. Of course, they attract the bees and the butterflies, the good guys. But found out a lot of folks will make tea out of it. I don't know how in the world on lantana tea. That'd have to be some, that'd be some strong stuff. So to make salve out of it, it'll sure clear your sinuses, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty. But the point of it is it's green. It don't need no water. It's reaching for the roots, looking for the good stuff. And it just keeps on going, whether it gets cut down or not. It doesn't get caught up in the dry, humid, or the dry environment around it. Maybe the negativity, if you will. It just keeps looking for the good stuff. Digs its roots down and finds the water that sustains its beauty. So that kind of helped me out a little bit this evening. Sure don't like the looks of things around me, the roughness and misunderstanding. We all got a lot to learn as we try to figure out what that elephant really looks like. Looks like a little different to everybody. Maybe we need to understand that. Be a little bit more tolerant about things we want to rip down and do. Quick changes. I won't get into it. I remember that old philosophy story about the old boy wanting to run in there and tear down the fence, Gonna make changes. Long story short, The old wise professor said, well, I want you to study about why that fence was there. Maybe not what it kept out, but what it kept in. After you discover that, then you can start tearing down things. Whatever. Sure do need some changes, though. We do. But, we're getting caught up in a fervor and not really analyzing what the elephant is. It's more of a heart condition than anything else. I wasn't going to get on all that. I'm going to go back to feeding these chickens and shucking corn. And about to shell some pinto beans. That'll work, won't it? Sissy, what do you think? Yep, that's a good idea. That's what we're going to do. We'll do a quick roll call, and we'll call it an evening. Got to go give a Viking funeral to that poor old turkey and send him on his way. That'd be all right. I think the coon's going to be mad at me because I got all the good corn out of the field, so they're going to have to take the leftovers this evening. But they can enjoy it right on, right? Okay, let's see. There's Karen. How are you? My buddy Brandon from Montrose, Colorado. Boy, you moving around, son. Good to see you checking in. There's Donna Boatman coming into the house or the field or whatever we call this thing. Sharon's in Corpus Christi. What's up, Brandon, again? There's my good friend Chris King out in Louisiana way. Been watching some of your posts a few weeks ago. All them snakes y'all got crawling. Whew, I don't want none of that. We've been lucky. I hadn't seen one in a minute. I ain't trying to call them up either. Anisha is saying dry there too. I bet. There's my dear friend Melinda up in Oregon. Little red buggy is sure full. She sent me that when I first moved in here. Boy, what a blessing that was. And I have drugged that thing all over this place. It's like my little tractor. It sure saves some steps and some work, I'll tell you. And today is loaded down with corn. So my Nacogdoches peeps, y'all need to come get some of this corn. Ain't no sense going to waste. And it won't, but I'd rather give it to a few of y'all fresh than otherwise I'm going to freeze it all off. I'm not going to cream any of it, but I'll take some of the kernels off and freeze it that way, and then I like putting it up with the shuck on after I get the bad ends of it off, because you can throw it in the old microwave with the shuck on and a little moisture from freezing. You can cook it right like that in no time. So that's how I put most of it up, I imagine. Thank you, Roy, for that. It's been a lot of work on that thing. I ain't gonna let it go to waste. So I guess Nacogdoches water is gonna get a little extra this month. Melissa's in North Carolina. Linda, Richmond, Virginia. There's Maria. How are you, ma'am, at work? Oh, I didn't say her name, did I? Hope her boss ain't watching. There's Charlotte, West Tennessee. Thank you, ma'am. Good to see you on. Howdy, Andrew. Yeah, it is a dry spell. I looked at the forecast, nothing but sunshine. But good Lord knows best, so I'm not going to worry about it. We'll just keep doing what we got to do. Patty's in Georgia. Matthew, how are you, sir? Thank you for checking in. AC again. There's Alley View, Texas. Boy, I thought I knew them all. I guess I don't know that one. I have to look that up after I get off here. Good to see you on, Phyllis. Thanks for checking in. There's Miss Nancy and Matthew from Florida. Flooded there. Well, guess it takes the good and the bad, don't it, to make things go around. Valley View saying howdy. And I think that's everybody this evening. So we're going to call it that. I about missed my sunset, but I'm going to go grab them old pinto beans and get to shucking. We'll talk with y'all later. Be the light and try to understand that elephant a little more. Tricky, ain't it? Especially when you're blind. Anyway, there I go again. Be the light. Talk to y'all later.